Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, the seekers, sojourners of truth, the 144, chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are. I greet you in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. I am Akila Textri in the divine energy essence of it all, reporting to you live from 5D, the fifth dimension. And as usual, I bring you the news to infuse with if you so choose. So let's light up on this light grid. And if you ain't lighting up and infusing with the light, you're getting fried. I'm going to keep saying that now because I like that. It's like I could see it. If you're not lighting up and you choose to do your own thing, please believe you're getting fried on the light grid because the light grid is activated big time and the light is intensified with all these solar flares we've been getting this year with the light energy information intensity that is coming through, that fifth density light that is coming through, right, in the 5D. So get your CPUs up and running. Right. So with that said, I want to go into being that we're coming off, we're still in the shadows of the full moon. So I'm on my third eye day. My third eye is popping. And it was really popping from the day of the full moon, really went in deep. So I have a deep one to kind of go in with you all about. So yeah, this is a lot of esoteric metaphysics, like put your thinking caps on. We going for a galactic ride. Come along on this fantastic voyage. Let's roll. So with that, I want to talk about the solar perspective underneath the 12 gates. Ooh, what are the 12 gates? The 12 gates are the 12 houses. The 12 houses are what some know as the 12 zodiac signs, the 12 signs, which I don't like to call it that because it's nothing animalistic about it, but it's not to, it's not to denote or take down the animals. It's not to look at the animals as any less because the animals help explain certain aspects to us, and that's why our ancient ones, our deities, when they had their mythologies with the gods and so forth and Kemetic studies, that they have them, with the heads of animals because there are certain aspects that they steerhead, that archetypal energy steers. So I get it. I get that whole animal type, but it was twisted into something else, which you all know as a zodiac signs. But long story short, I call them the 12 gates because that's how it was referred to in Revelations when it says the New Jerusalem will be built on high. When you go through the 12 gates, in order to see the New Jerusalem, which is the new city of peace, your consciousness, you must go through, in order to even build that New Jerusalem, see that New Jerusalem, you got to go through the 12 gates. You have to go on high. That's going into upper rooms. There are 12 gates, 12 houses. This is within our time-space reality. So what I'm speaking to you about, you will see the difference between time-space reality and space-time reality. All right, so let me just start with our little local solar system in regards to the solar perspective. Why am I saying that? Because there is a certain perspective that we have when we say things like your sun sign. Whatever your sun sign is really your earth sign. Notice how all of those other planets are in one of those gates, one of those 12 gates or 12 houses, but you don't hear the earth, and they will say the sun. But when you think about it, and I spoke about this on a previous video, just barely touched base on the position of the sun. All the other planets go around the sun, as so do we. The sun is the nucleus of our solar system. The sun is the light energy information. It is what I call the looking glass through which we get all of our information from the galactic center, i.e. the mothership, i.e. Mama Universe, as Sister Myra. I love how Sister Myra calls it Mama Universe, right? That's how I see the galactic center. That is, where the sun gets its information. And then as the nucleus that sends us the light, energy, or information, we revolve around it. So when they say your sun sign, it is from a perspective of where we are. So mind you, we are as human beings, egoic that we are, everything we're treating it as if everything revolves around us, as if we are in the center of this local universe, right? And rightfully so, because as we live on this planet, everything is pretty much about us. We're focusing on us. We're focusing on our existence in this time-space reality. So I get it. But it's for us to understand the truth of this nature, this perspective. So as we go around, it is us. When they say your sun sign, let's say Libra, it's really your earth sign. It is your earth sign with the perspective of how the light is cast on, or the light is coming from the sun, or the focal point. There we go. Being that the light is the center, the focal point would be on us as we are in that sign, if you can see it that way. So it's like it is earth that is there in that house, and it is the focal point as to where the sun lights us up, right? Or focuses on us, because the sun represents the outer world. So now we're focusing on how this light is the focal point of us at this space point in time, time space reality on earth. So, let's kind of undo that part for a moment. A lot of time we just say sun sign and nobody even thinks about it, like, hey, the sun is not the one that's revolving. It's really us. But let me say this, not but and. Let me also say this. Everything is moving through the galaxy, through the ethers. Everything is moving. There's motion. Energy moves, so we're always moving. Depending on where we are in time-space reality or space-time reality, things may move a little bit slower or a little bit more faster, depending on where we are. So we can visibly see us going around the sun, and we wouldn't really say that the sun is going around us. So people don't really think of the sun as moving, but real astrologers and astronomers know that the sun moves too, because that's why they would say the sun is now here, connected to the galactic center. The sun is now here, like in the universe. So the sun, being our local universe, moves, but it's like we move around it. This being the sun, all planets moving around it, and it moves as we're moving around it. It's kind of like how we see the moon, right? We move around the sun, and the moon is moving around us while we're moving around the sun, right? It's kind of like that. We can visibly see that. We don't really see the sun moving, but we know that it moves. And as it moves, wherever it's moving, it being at the center, having its let's say gravitational force, or whatever that force is moving around, wherever it goes, we go, because it is the nucleus. We are a part of it, just like wherever the earth goes, the moon goes all around it. Kind of picture it like that. So the sun makes its way around the galaxy as well, but we just don't see it. So for us, it's like the sun is fixed and we move around it. That's why I'm calling it a solar perspective, right? As well as because of where we are, according to the 12 gates, it is where we are, but it's called the sun because it's coming from this solar perspective, but it's really where the earth is. That's so whatever sign you are that they say that's your sun sign, it's really your earth sign with a solar perspective, right? So with that said, the next thing for us to look at is that the constellations, right? Those houses called the constellations are fixed stars, right? Constellation, constant meaning fixed, stable, right? The stellations, or constellations, is like a station. There we go. Stationed stars, right? Fixed stars at a station, however you want to look at it. So those two move. We usually don't look at it like it moves. We move, and we all move in different houses, but this is within our time-space reality. So this is where we kind of see the difference here. Time-space reality is where there is we are formed by time. Like we are vessels of time in time, right? And we are pushers of time. Like everything is in a time existence. There's divine timing, and of course there's man time, but there's really over the ruling factor is divine time. There is an order and there is a structure to the time. This is why the seasons and everything that we have that circulates and all of that, it is within the time scope. It is within the scope of time. So there is a limit of time. It is time within space. So it is space-time reality, and that's what we exist in our local system. Now, if you venture out of there, if we can reach there, we get out of there. When we get beyond time, space, reality, we would then be existing in space-time reality. Excuse me. Space-time reality. Gotta slow down with my speaking. Throat chakra season. Let me clear my throat. All right, be mindful and clear. Let me just take the time to listen to spirit, because that means there's something being said here. Maybe there's something else that I need to highlight, and I want to be receptive to that. So let me be clear. When we're out of time, space, reality, we are in a space-time reality, which is all space, and it is without the limitation of time that we have in our time-space reality. So it is beyond time-space reality, right? But it is now space-time reality. So to kind of give an image of that, I would say like our galactic center would be considered space-time reality, right? That galactic center is outside of our time-space reality, right? Everything here, the sun, the celestials, everything right here, within the gates, within the 12 gates, the constellations, the stars, however, whatever it is you call them, the houses, everything within that is within the scope of time, space, reality. Once you get out of those gates, that's the best way I could say it, then we go into space-time reality. All right, so what I have to say about the gates, just as, remember I said everything moves. So just as 12:12, as soon as I saw that, I saw 12:12, which is cyclical completion. So yes, everything is cyclical, everything moves. There's nothing that is just standing still the way we think. So just like I explained about the sun, it's still to us, yet it moves. So too with the constellations, they just move at a slower pace that we really can't see. We see the sun, but we're really not seeing, unless, special astronomers, astrologers, special cosmologists, or as I say, newtologists that really study the stars and are connected to the stars will be able to know that, see, or that movement. But those constellations, the 12 gates, they too move, but at a slower rate. So how would I say, it's almost as if they move, but everything within the gates, remember, is time, space, reality. So it's like us and our as we're revolving, right, move around with it, right? And we don't see it, but just as the 12 gates, kind of imagine the gates up on high above you. And as they're moving, so too do we move in the same time order, the same time capacity that we are meant to be in within the time-space reality, because we're within these gates. So even though they may move, they are fixed for us. In our eyes and according to our perspective, they do not move, right? So this is why it keeps the order. It's almost like it's holding an order. It's holding the transcendence, right? The cosmic dance that is happening. It holds everything in that order. Everything else moves around those 12 gates. And the order of that movement is what creates our time-space reality. This is what has us where we are. It tells the story of our personal lives. It tells the story of this earth. It tells us where we are cosmically on our cosmic map. It helps to keep the order within that time-space reality. So to us, this is very fixed. Constellations, they're very fixed. Though out there, probably, let me give this as an example. If we were to be in space-time reality, chilling somewhere with mama universe in the from the galactic center, we'd be able to see those constellations moving, like how we can see our planets moving within our time-space reality. But because we're in time-space reality, we don't see this, because this keeps the order of our time-space reality. So this has to remain fixed for us as we go into each house, into each order, into each degree, right? And everything is broken down to us, and it's just so fortunate. So you can see that there is something magnificent about the existence of us here on earth. There is something where we are in a specific beautiful position where we get the right amount of light, we get the right amount of information that allows this life form, this life plasm, this cell that we call earth, this soul that we call earth, to be able to exist in the manner that it does, and for each and every one of us to exist here in the manner that we do within this time-space reality. The seasons, the time, everything is so intricate. It's such an intrinsic cosmic design, and this is why we have to understand the cosmos, to understand where we are in the ethers, to understand the energetic connection. The cosmos are always speaking to us. So it's not just, oh, it guides space, it guides the planets, it guides every bit of us. Everything down to the most minute detail responds to the energies of this timely existence, this time-space reality, right? All from a solar perspective still, because it is the light codes that come through the sun. This is why it is important where the sun is fixed upon us and where we are in perspective to that sun. It's very with this solar perspective, we have to also pay respect to the reflective aspect, right? As the sun hits its light on us and lights up the outer world, we got to remember the moon is a very important part of the luminaries, because the moon is a reflective. That's why it reflects the light. The sun is the source, but the moon reflects that light, and it gives us a chance to reflect, right? As we have a retrospective look within ourselves, an introspective look, which is also retrospective, because the reflection has us looking back. It has us, like, look at what is being reflected, right? So it gives us a chance to, in our inner world, as the moon represents our inner world, to take us into that experience, to this within our time-space reality. So there's a difference. This is some real third eye-ish right here. Like, I'm on my Neptune, my Neptunian journey, because Neptune kind of honors the third eye. Neptune is really that deep dreamer, looking beyond and so forth. If you can go into the depths of the blue, the depths of the primordial waters, that's third eye activity. So I'm really into the stars right now. The third eye is, in the transcendence. It's in the, amongst the stars. I'm sitting on the stars right now. I'm looking at those gates. So, understand those 12 gates above you. So this is really like how I see the solar perspective, how it has been shown to me, the solar perspective under those 12 gates, and what we really are. Knowing what that sun really is doing for us, as it is the looking glass that is hitting the light in the right spot at the right time, having us to look at this right now. So right now, the sun is in Gemini. So really, as they say, the sun is in Gemini. How would we look at that? The earth is in Gemini, and the sun is giving us its solar perspective, which is allowing us to see the outer world of everything that the Gemini archetype represents, right? So right now, everything in the outer world, we're looking at communication. We're looking at the wind. We're looking at the wind element. So again, fine-tuning, asking us to look at the wisdom in the wind, to be able to see what's happening in the atmosphere. That is 5D. Atmosphere. Right? As I saw 1909, like the 9 and the 9. I'm looking at the spiritual completion that we're to have. So knowing all of this helps us to understand where we exist in the cosmos. It helps us to understand what the solar perspective is, what those 12 gates are. So look at how you see these 12 gates. Where is your earth sign / sun sign? And where are the other planets aligned with that? Because all of these are a part of a transcendence, right? We transcend through this dance in our time-space reality that helps us to understand us. Why is this so necessary for all of us right now, for those who are transcending and entering into the 5D? Because as I've been explaining, it is important for us to do our soul work. It is important for us to help this light, you know, break up the dark matter in the areas that we need to, right? So right now too, if find out if your Chiron is in Gemini, you know, look at that. There are things that need to be, you know, broken up in that area. Your Chiron is the wounded healer, and it's where things need to be addressed, right? It's giving you the opportunity that as you are here in this lifetime to remove these wounds, to remove these unhealed emotions that block us, that block our light, that blocks our CPU, blocks our light, and slows down the CPU from being the processor that we want it to be, right? So this means understanding your life, world, and affairs, understanding how you play a part. The outer world is the perspective that shows up on the outside, and your inner world is the reflective that allows you to reflect and look within so you can know how to show up in this perspective with all due respect, right? Which means to re-look at it. So faithfully, I'm sharing something with you that you can understand, overstand, and understand the solar perspective under the gates, under the 12 gates, under the 12 houses, so you can know thyself a little bit more, and then know what needs to be rectified. What do we need to extract and excavate and take out, right? And the stars help us to know this. Don't just pick up a book and say, this is my sign. Ooh, look at this. This is my horoscope for the day. This is the skepticism that we want to move away from. It's not just about telling your fortune in that way. It is about being a roadmap, a cosmic map for your soul's design, your spiritual blueprint. You have your spiritual blueprint, but you just have to understand how to read that map. And that map is going to tell you where you're coming from, where you're going, what is it that you're here to heal in this time, so you can know what to remove off of the set of your soul, how to come out of the karmic loops and get out of the karmic traumas, the karma traumas and things like that, so that you can elevate and truly ascend in your soul. This is what we're here to do, soul bodies. I'm talking to my light warriors. I'm talking to the true truth seekers. I'm talking to the savants. Savant is a sojourner of truth, a sojourner, but I call it sojourner because we're all sojourners, soul journeying through this plane. So if you're a true savant, if you are as my children's last name, Desavant, and this is not a name that has been passed down, it is a name that was given to them. Savant, sojourners of truth. De, of the sojourners of truth. Are you of the truth seekers, or are you of this world? We want to be in this world, not of it. So find your journey. Find the part on the map that is you. Find your solar perspective under the 12 gates. Open those gates. That's the pearly gates that you want to get through. You don't got to wait till you die to get there, right? The pearly gates are always here. Can you walk through those gates? And do you know what direction you're going through into? Remember, out of those gates, right, there are 4 elements, and the elements are the directions. You might want to go back and watch the video that I did. Elements are directions. So to know how to navigate through your map, look at the elements of these planets, of these stars, wherever they are at that time currently, as well as your natal chart, if you want to know what direction you should be going in, right? And hint, hint, in case you don't get to see that video, if you want to know the direction, hint, hint, earth is south, fire is north, wind is east, and water is west. Don't say you didn't hear. Now you heard. So with that said, faithfully, you've gotten your solar perspective from all these solar flares. I'm just lighting up with this, you know, I'm giving y'all third eye activity, right? And happy 2424 portal for those of us who had portal through yesterday, the 24th. Remember, portaling, you got to do your pre-portal work, which is this soul work that I'm talking about. And the more you do it, the more you ascend. You open up your CPU, you speed up your processor when you align with the fifth density light. It's all interconnected and relative. So with that said, you know, get into your soul work and let your soul glow up into the stars, into infinity and beyond, from time-space reality into space-time reality. Let's travel. So with that, love, love, love you all. Each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out and be the candle that lights the next one and the next one and the next one. Peace, love, and light. God bodies.